because throwing a baseball really hard is not a healthy thing to do.
Yeah, I was a reliever my entire college career. I figured out that if I lifted the day of throwing in a game, then I was actually more prepared.
I mean, it's funny you mentioned kind of like the importance of having a strong arm or the structures around the arm to actually be able to put force into the throw. Like there's so much force going into a throw that your arm goes through. And if you don't have a body capable of holding those forces, your brain's gonna put a governor on your body and it's gonna slow down. It's gonna compensate in ways to protect you from harm because throwing a baseball really hard is not a healthy thing to do. If you don't have a body that's capable of doing it, it's gonna go to another route, and that's where you see like the pushy throws, your arm not being in plane and stuff like that. But if you have a body capable, like, oh, I can actually pull on this thing, right? Now the body's been like, all right, let him do what he wants to do, and now you're actually getting a little better results mechanically from having a stronger body and understanding to the specifics of where you need to be strong. Because sometimes we throw strong into this very like big umbrella where it needs to be more specific, like which part of the body need to be strong and which parts of the body need to be mobile or vice versa. So no, those things are huge.
I think one thing that we both did was just really start kind of lifting like meatheads a little bit.
Yeah, 100%.
And for me, I was always afraid of lifting upper body while I was playing. I remember junior college, I'd tell my coach I'm not doing dumbbell bench because I want to make sure that I'm loose in my upper half. So I did all the lower body stuff and try to get that as strong as possible. But really until post-playing career, just going like, hey, I want to get my bench up because this is something that's been terrible my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And so both of us, and I know you obviously have trained like that for a long time, where it's like, hey, let's try to get a good bench press, and then that just allows us to then obviously accept more force into the upper half and be able to express that into the baseball, which I mean, it makes the baseball feel a whole lot lighter with how heavy you can get in the bench press.
And that's kind of what I talk about when I say just kind of like exploiting or taking advantage of the situation now. It's like, you know, over the course of a season, would I have been able to, you know, barbell bench to, 60 or whatever for 8 reps twice a week? Like, no, probably would not have held up very well. Right. And so, now that, I can throw whenever I kind of just like feel like it or feel good, I've got the training economy, right, to support what I'm doing in the weight room, and then just kind of line that up with times of the year where I pick up a ball, I feel pretty good, and I'm like, well, let's get on a little program for the next month or so and see what we can output. So that's where that's what I mean when I talk about like exploiting the retirement phase of throwing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's more freedom to explore different things
Yeah.
and see what actually works.
Yeah.
But going based off what you mentioned on like being afraid of doing the upper body lifting, I've explored like trying to do the whole mobility thing. Like, let me feel really flexible. Let me feel really loose in my body, particularly. Like, I could feel super loose, but I go throw, it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel connected. I'm the person that's like tight-winded, and I like to feel like that when I'm throwing. I'm able to sync things up better when I'm like that. But that's myself. There's other guys like your Mizorowskis of the world, your Brian Woos of the world, that you could tell them they're super loose and whippy. So it's like being able to understand what your body wants to do and where does it function the best by kind of exploring different things, right? With the new training economy that we have, with that we don't have the pressure like, oh, we have to throw on Friday, or being a reliever, we're like, I don't know if I throw Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. So like it just becomes really difficult where you don't really know your role. I think it's easier for starters, right? Because you have your schedule set.
Yeah.
Oh, I throw every Friday. If you're like low levels in minor leagues or in college, if you're a starter in big leagues, you throw every 5th or 6th day. So you can really structure like out when can you have this inputs from the weight room being implemented into your routine. But as a reliever, it's really difficult. So it's just funny.
Yeah, I was a reliever my entire college career. And so pretty early on, maybe freshman or sophomore year, I figured out that if I lifted the day of throwing in a game, then I was actually more prepared than I was if I didn't do so. So by the time I got to my Division I college at Sac State, it was asking the strength coach, hey, can I lift on Tuesday, the day that I might actually throw, instead of Monday? Because I'll feel a little bit sore if I lift on Monday and then go into the game on Tuesday versus, I've primed my body a little bit more because I'm more of that tighter bound person where if there's a little bit of muscle tension in there, it gives me that opportunity to feel my body get a little bit more awareness, and it obviously allows me to have more body control and throw a little bit harder.
Yeah. Have you tinkered with the dosage of like before the games? How much can you lift? Right, because there's that fine line of like too little's right. Not doing nothing is not so good, but doing too much is also bad.
Yeah, it's usually been just trying to be as explosive as possible and keep the volume down. So let's hit 2 sets of 3 or 4 reps on these things. Let's get some box jumps in there. Let's get some, or just plyometrics in general. Let's get some, it's usually lower body stuff for me. If I feel my legs and have a little bit of sense of where those are at in space, that allows me to really set everything else up throughout the throw. I mean, it's kind of funny. The day before the velo off, I was in the gym doing RDLs at 8 sets of 3 at 315. And I just knew that my legs were going to be a little bit fatigued the next day, but that actually gives me a little bit more awareness of what I was doing. But day of the game, I obviously wouldn't be doing anything like that.
Don't do any 8x3s.
No.
With 315 the
No,
day
no.
of the game.
No, but the day of the game, get a little bit of a dosage of some speed work, getting a little bit of tension moving throughout the body. And so over 4 hours of being able to relax and get to the field, do all my prep work, that allowed me to kind of cool down, but still have that body awareness by the time that I need to get the CNS fired up again.